Kira was working in her office when she suddenly got a call from her manager. He did not expect at all that this meeting was going to change the direction of his entire life. When she opened the office door, the manager had a strange smile on his face, and he said softly, "Kira, sit, we need to talk about something." There was a kind of seriousness in his voice, which was enough to create a stir in Kira's heart. "Kira, after 15 years, we are restructuring your position," the manager announced proudly. Hearing this sentence, a strange sound started echoing in Karaki's ears, as if she was expecting to hear something else. Suddenly he realized that something bigger was about to happen than he had ever imagined. Did this mean I was going to lose my job? This question immediately came to his mind. A storm of thousands of thoughts started running in his mind. Working in the same position for so many years, he had never felt that he would suddenly have to face such a situation. He looked at the manager, who was still looking at his face with seriousness. He felt a slight shock beneath his feet. She started wondering, why is the position I have held for so many years going to change? Was this a normal decision, or was there a deeper reason behind it? Was he going to benefit from this change, or was it going to destroy his future? He couldn't understand how his world was about to change in an instant. Kira smiled with difficulty, hiding the doubts in his mind, completely understood. But was she really able to understand this change? Did he realize that his career was now at a new turning point? She thought for a while, and then slowly sat down in her place, wondering whether this would be a new opportunity for her or the end of it. But will my life be the same after this? This question was now revolving in his mind day and night. He could not understand in which direction this change would go for him. Will she now give a new beginning to her entire life, or will she return to her old path? Was his hard work and dedication going to be of any use now? Or was this the end of the entire journey she had been living for so many years? Kira tried to put on a small smile on her face, hiding her inner insecurities. But the inner fear and anxiety were gradually increasing. She was wondering, do I have to reinvent myself in this job now? Will someone like me have a chance to bounce back after this change? These questions had completely occupied his thoughts. Then the manager said something else. "We want you to look at this change positively. This can be a new beginning for you." But the questions arising in Kira's mind were troubling him. Was the manager really saying this was an opportunity, or was it just a way to get me out of the job? This question was continuously echoing in his mind. He remained silent for some time and realized his situation. He realized that now he would have to reshape all his thinking and direction. But was she ready for this? Will she be able to adapt to this change properly? Was this the time when he would have to prove all his hard work and honesty again? "Clean out your desk by Friday," the manager ordered. As soon as Kira heard this sentence, she felt a slight shock in her heart. Did this mean I was out of a job? She started thinking. After putting in so much time and effort, was she just going to move in a new direction? Will she now have to look at her entire life from the beginning again? This sentence completely surprised him. She immediately gave a light smile, but inside she was completely broken. Was this a signal for him to leave his old position and start a new one, or was it a shadow that would haunt him till the end? These same questions were roaming in Karaki's mind, but keeping himself calm, he said, "Understood." But what was the truth? The mystery was now completely in front of Kira, and she was ready to know its solution. Everything became blurry before Kira's eyes. After hearing the announcement of restructuring of the post by the manager, many questions were arising in his mind. She felt that moment replaying in her heart and mind again and again. After working in the same position for 15 years, this sudden change was incomprehensible to him. She thought she was perfect for the job, then why did this suddenly happen? Was this change really the right thing? This question was the first to enter Kira's mind. She was saying to herself, maybe this is just a formality. Maybe the manager has some reason for taking such a decision, which I am not able to understand right now. But there was something else inside him. He had a feeling that this was not just a normal process. Did this mean she would face new struggles in her job? Will she be able to face all the challenges that may come her way? And most importantly, will he get another chance to prove his worth? She was telling herself again and again that this change would not make any difference to her hard work and dedication. But this question was constantly echoing in her mind, that would she be able to stand again in the same position at which she had worked so hard till now? Was this a major obstacle to her career, or was it a new opportunity that could take her even further? At night before going to sleep, Kira's mind was in turmoil. He was understanding different aspects of everything, but there was no concrete answer. Every moment she kept wondering whether she should welcome this change or consider it a challenge and face it. Was this the time when he would have to prove all his previous hard work again, or would he have to prepare himself to do things in a new way? Kira had spent sleepless nights. She was lost in her old memories, remembering all the struggles she had faced while holding this post. Now, this sudden change had thrown all his plans into disarray. Will she be able to adapt to the new role as easily as before? Or was this a challenge that she would never be able to win? This question had completely occupied his mind. She kept trying to sleep, but every time this question woke her up. Now she was trying to understand how she could turn this change in her favor. Should he stick to his old policies and methods, or will he have to look at things in a new way and adapt? She was afraid that if she did not adopt the new method, she might be left behind. But was she ready to adopt this new approach? Was this the right move for him? She constantly asked herself whether she would be happy with this change, or whether it was just a trap that she would not be able to get out of. This conflict continued in his heart and mind. She was wondering, if I accept this, will I find a way to return to where I started? And if she challenged it, could she return to being the same surrogate person she had spent so much of the past 15 years with? This was a question that only time could answer. Time that could give her mind clarity and show her whether this change was a new beginning for her, or whether it was the end. Her world had completely changed, and now it was only a matter of time how she would see this change and move forward with it. Will she be able to take this change positively by recognizing her inner strength, or will it become a challenge for her that she will never be able to overcome? After the manager finished speaking, he said simply and clearly, "Clean out your desk by Friday." This sentence entered Kira's heart like a sharp knife. The very words which she wanted to avoid hearing were now echoing in her ears. Did this mean he would have to quit his job? Will she really not be a part of this company? This question had completely disturbed his mental peace. At that moment Kira felt as if a heavy stone had fallen on his chest. She started thinking, does this sentence mean that my 15 years of struggle, my hard work, has now gone in vain? On hearing this order, a cold wave ran through Kira's body. The desk on which he had worked so hard for years was now being asked to be cleaned. She started wondering, was this the end of all the hard work I had done for so many years? Every moment spent at that desk started playing like a film in his memories. During those years, he had worked so many nights, endured so many hardships, and proved himself so many times. Was it all over now? Was this really the end of his journey? The time until Friday had now become a mystery to Kira. Even if she wanted to, she was unable to understand what turn this order would take in her life. Was this a sign that this door was now closed for him? Or was this a new chapter that she was not yet able to recognize? This question was echoing in every cell of his. Will she be able to cope with this change? Will he need to use all his strength to face this challenge? Her thoughts were constantly torn between whether she could really accept this change. Was she ready to give up her old way of doing things and embrace this new trend? She was afraid that if she didn't embrace this change, she might fall back into the same old routine where she wouldn't be able to get out of her place. Had he gone through so much just to not take a new turn? And if she takes this turn, will she be able to prove herself again? Kira's mind was now in complete turmoil. The time until Friday now felt like a ticking clock. Every moment, every minute, had become a challenge to bring change in his life. She would look at her desk and wonder, will all the documents, notes, and old memories on it become history? Will she now say goodbye to the days she spent at this place for so many years? He tried to convince himself that this change could be a new opportunity. If this closes one door, maybe a new one will open, he said to himself. but still, there was a strange worry in his mind. Will he have time to prepare for this new door, or will he have to stick to his old habits and ways? Will she have to fight for her identity and career, or will this be an easier path that will leave her better than ever? The time till Friday had now become a turning point for Kira. This was the time when he had to decide the next step in his career. Will she struggle to get back to where she was before, or abandon her old ways and try something new? This question gave rise to a powerful emotion in Kira, but at the same time fear had also taken root, stopping him at every step. Only time will give him the answer to this question. But will she be able to use that time properly? Will she be able to accept this challenge completely? Or will he have to take some more steps to overcome this change? Kira tried to calm herself with this sudden change. She made up her mind that she would face this challenge. She knew she needed time to think soberly about her decision. She was telling herself, it's just a change, and with every change comes a new opportunity. But was she really ready? Was this change a new beginning for him, or was it a more complicated turn in his life? His mental condition had become even more complicated regarding Monday. Monday will be a turning point, she thought to herself. Will she be able to choose her new path that day, or will the same old path continue to haunt her life? After that day, will he have to rethink his entire career? Or will he be forced to settle into his old situation again? These questions had created confusion in Kira's mind. She knew that whatever decision she made would affect her entire life. But then one day, when she was sitting at her desk and going through some papers, she received a strange information, which created even more confusion in her mind. This information was received from a friend, who told him that more changes were going to happen in the company. She said, "Kira, you know that some other people are also going to reorganize the positions, and now it is being decided who will be saved and who will be eliminated." Hearing this, there was a strange movement in Kira's heart. Did this mean she could opt out of this change? Will she no longer be in this job? Would there be something else for her that she didn't know about yet? A storm of questions arose in his mind. Will she really be able to stay in this job, or will she have to find a new path for the rest of her life? Was this a sign that he would have to leave his job and do something new? She began to trouble herself even more to understand this new mystery. This information had completely changed her world, and she no longer knew which direction to take. Kira said to herself, "Is it time for me to get out of this job?" But at the same time he was also afraid that by taking this step he might lose something big. Was it time for him to discover something new for himself? Or did he have to endure some changes by staying with this job? This confusion deepened the dilemma within Kira. Now she was unable to understand what to do. Should it accept this challenge and do something new, or move forward with this change while maintaining its old status quo? Monday had now become a turning point for him. This was the time when he had to take some big decisions regarding his career. But will she be able to recognize the strength within her that day and choose the right path for herself? This question was troubling him every moment. Will she be able to adjust to this change by listening to her inner voice, or will she have to take other steps? Every moment she thought about her decision, she became more and more confused. Was this a new opportunity that would take his life to even greater heights, or was it a new danger that could land him in some new trouble? His thoughts were entangled in this strange dilemma. Now, the question was what the next step would be for Kira. Would she follow her heart that Monday, or would she have to decide to go in another direction? Only time could answer this question, and for Kira, that time was now very close. Monday came, and Kira was deeply confused and had only one question in her mind: would the path she was on take her in the right direction? She stepped into the office, and as soon as she reached her desk, she realized that the atmosphere was different. Everyone was more silent than usual, and something seemed untoward. There was a strange nervousness in the heart, as if something big was about to happen. Was this the moment when he would know the whole truth about his career? Within minutes, the Karaki manager called him. She already knew that this meeting was not going to be that normal. He had a paper, seeing which Kira's heartbeat increased. "Kira, we're not going to demote you," the manager said, and there was no hesitation in his voice, as if he had already decided. But this sentence was no less than a shock. "We're promoting you to a new role," she said, and her words covered Kira's entire body like a blanket. Was it true? Was the change she feared actually an opportunity, a new beginning? Eventually, Kirana signed that paper. But did this mean that this change was not just a new beginning, but also a new responsibility to face? Suddenly a slight doubt arose in his eyes. Was the new position he was offered really his dream, or was it a responsibility that would make his life more difficult? As she walked out after signing the papers, she was thinking to herself, have I made the right decision? Will this decision take her to a place where she can prove herself, or will it become even more complicated? Will this change live up to his expectations, or will it be just another bird in the wings after flying away? The question still on Kira's mind is this: will this new position lead her in the right direction, or will she face even more difficulties? Was this truly a fulfillment of his hopes, or a ploy that would force him to confront his old fears? She realized that she was now out of the dilemma she was thinking about before taking this new turn. This change, which earlier seemed like a big problem to him, now felt like a new opportunity. But will this free her from her old fears and insecurities, or will she face an even greater responsibility? This question was in his heart, and only time could give him the answer. This new turn puts Kira on life from a new perspective, but will she be able to make the most of this new opportunity, or will her life become even darker? This question still surrounded her mental state, and she was curious to know how this new change would affect her life.